I can't believe that guy, that plumber, was actually called Bill Menser, and he just looked exactly like and sounded exactly like Phil Spencer.
I know, I was surprised by that as well. It seemed almost a little bit too contrived, if you ask me, but I'm glad that I'm glad we got to the end of that, because I was a little worried, with all the Microsoft stuff that had happened, that maybe, he would have come after us, but no, fortunately, it was just the head of Mensa himself, Bill Mensa, and he was only there just to see how our boss was getting on in his secret millionaire ploy.
Yeah. I'm glad to be back in England too, though.
Yeah, no, so am I. It's amazing just how quickly that they managed to move the offices from Rummet. Can you hear something from the office?
Yeah, it sounds like music.
Sounds...
We were just here 10 minutes ago. We just went to get Subway sandwiches and...
Yeah, I know we did. We went to Subway #TM Subway to buy #Subway TM sandwiches as well. Oh, that's very weird. I'm gonna go investigate.
What? Who are you?
Wait, no. Who the fuck are you?
No, who the fuck are you?
Hold on. Who are both of you?
Wait, James, I'm
He's
Ben.
James.
Yes, that one's James.
Hello, James.
You're James. I'm James.
I'm Ben. Who are you?
Patrick.
Oh.
Okay.
Hello, Patrick.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
I work here.
Ben.
Yeah.
Are those my
know-
sandwiches? I ordered some sandwiches. Are you the delivery
No.
folk?
No, these are our sandwiches. We, James.
Ben.
That's
I
very
feel-
greedy delivery men if you're keeping your sandwiches.
Ben.
Yeah.
He's. I feel like he's stealing our job. He's stolen our job, and he's also gonna steal our sandwiches as well. I didn't sign up for this.
Never did I.
Hold on. Let's try and batten down the hatch with him. Let's use the old charm offensive.
I'm sat right here.
Oh.
Excuse me, handsome man.
That's
I hear
obviously
that you
untrue.
work at this games company,
Yes.
and you could do with some help with coming up with some big ideas, as is usually the case when we get an email from the boss. Speaking of which, have we got an email from the boss?
It's kind of weird actually. The guy who let me in here didn't give me. Well, he said he knew the password, but it hasn't worked, so I haven't really checked the emails. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ben, do you want to go quickly sort that out then? I know
Yeah.
that is your shtick,
Hang
as
on.
it were.
You find out what he's doing here and how he got here, because I'm still
Okay.
a little confused.
Okay. Patrick,
Yeah.
do you know who that is?
It's Ben, right? That was a process of elimination.
Okay. I don't trust him, and he has got my Subway sandwich. But I reckon
My
if we give him
Subway.
the old charm offensive, we might be able to work him over.
Okay.
All right, I've logged on. I see an email here.
My word, your typing is so fast. What are you doing here?
I mean, yeah, I've used computers all my life, but yeah, there is an email here from the boss.
What does it say?
It does not. It's kind of all over the place. I'm just seeing Sega kill Sonic the Hedgehog.
Let me have a quick look at the email. Dear the boys, thank you for your continued hard work at the company, but today I have something quite important to ask you both. There has been a letter that has come down from up high, from Sega themselves, and they want you to help put one of their most famous characters to rest. That's right, Sonic the Hedgehog. I want you to do it in the classiest way that you can think of. We want a respectable end to the Blue Bomber. Brackets. I think that's Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm not sure though. Close brackets. Lots of love. The boss. Well, that's very exciting. Patrick, would you be able to help us out with this?
Oh, funny enough. Yeah, probably.
Great. Well, in that case, I'm gonna go make some coffee and we can get the show on the road.
Yeah, our show on the road.
Yes.
Who are you talking to?
Hello, welcome to Game Overtime. I'm James.
I'm Ben.
I'm
And
Patrick.
Oh my god, who the hell is that? Ben,
Yes.
explain. Oh no, no, Ben, don't explain. Patrick,
Yeah.
explain yourself to the audience, because as you may not be aware, we at the Game Overtime, we've now come up to a 5-episode spectacular, and we thought to celebrate it in style, we would get a special guest star. And so, we have pushed the boat out, and we've gone for
Patrick.
Patrick.
We pulled a name out of a hat, and it was Patrick, and we had to scramble around looking for anyone we knew with that name, and luckily we found Patrick here.
Now, as you may not be aware at home, Patrick has been the 4-time nominated BBC Sports Personality of the Year and famously won in 2015. So, if there's anybody who should know about video games and Sonic the Hedgehog, then he's our man.
He's a big inspiration to me, being, sporty as I am.
Yep, and absolutely.
I once ran.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did that go?
All right, more or less. Couldn't quite outdo Sonic, but it's always, you always need that figure who you're following behind. And in running, if you're following behind someone, okay, you're not as good as them, but it's there.
No?
And as Sonic always says, I love chili dogs.
As he would famously do. Unfortunately, he may not be famously saying that line much more, because unfortunately we've been asked today to come up with a respectful end for Sonic the Hedgehog. Now,
Some might say Sonic the Hedgehog ended a long time ago. Several times, in fact. Sega would disagree.
I'm trying to process that, giving him a respectful end when he hasn't really had a respectful middle or kind of a respectful 3/4 or arguably even earlier than the middle, to be frank.
Well, most would argue he'd had a respectful start, which is, you always got to have a good start and a good end.
Yeah.
The middle stuff can be, whatever, fill that with whatever you want. But as long as you got the good beginning and end, that's the story structure of things. I think that's how that works, isn't it?
Yeah, no one really cares about the middle. You can just fill up whatever. Good, yeah, it's as you say. Good beginning, good end, and the people will forget the rest.
All right, Patrick, give us your first pitch.
Okay, so here's the thing. Sonic started as a combat to Mario. He was committee designed to be the cool alternative to Mario. So Sonic has always just been a really vapid creature if you think about it. So I think he's got to go out serving the community in some way, giving a good message. How Sonic used to have those PSAs in the cartoons so that he was at least giving something back to the kids,
Yeah, I remember those famous documentaries.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Sonic says, well, I'm thinking Sonic needs to die in a car crash.
Okay.
Now, obviously, this is a video game, so there needs to be gameplay to this. So we need to kind of have the gameplay suitably to get Sonic in that car for the ending.
Are these cars realistic cars, or are they more like Sonic and All-Stars racing transform
Probably
cars?
Sonic and All-Stars racing cars, because you don't want to break continuity and canon within a series.
Okay. He's never done that before.
No, he's never done that. He's always been 100% on point consistent with his branding. But
that is, you can't spell consistent without Sonic. So
you really can't.
You genuinely cannot spell consistent without Sonic, so.
So what I'm thinking and feeling here is it needs to be a kind of allegorical tone, like don't run with scissors, buckle up, that kind of thing.
I get you.
So we've got to really drill it in. This is a kid's game, so it's got to be very obvious it was the car that killed him. Sonic runs at high speeds, but it was the car that did it.
The car pulls out a knife, stabs Sonic in the chest.
Hold on, I got completely confused. So Sonic isn't the person who's driving?
Well, if he's not in the wheel, we can maybe have Knuckles driving. I think it would be a really irresponsible
but
driver.
then that's not Sonic being killed by a car. That's Sonic being killed by Knuckles.
We don't
Okay,
want
Sonic's definitely driving then, yeah.
Okay, Sonic 100% is something that Sonic is famous for, motorsport. He's behind the wheel of a large automobile, and he says to himself, well, how did I get here? But also, well, he does genuinely say, well, how did I get here? Because he's overturned in a ditch.
And also dead.
Oh yeah, and also dead, I suppose.
Okay.
Well, I don't know, that happened a little bit too quickly for me. Let's break
Sonic's
down
all
the
about
steps
going
of how-
fast.
Yeah, sometimes too fast, though.
I'm getting an idea.
Alright,
This was just kind of plug up anyone who thinks, well, won't the car just have an airbag? Well, Sonic's a hedgehog, he's got quills, so the airbag just pops right away.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything.
So, like, that's not a plot hole.
No.
That's not... People don't...
Fill that
If you
in
try
right
and come
away.
up with a plot hole in any of our games, we will combat that on Twitter.
I've already got a video essay on the way for anybody who's got those problems in the bag. I'm gonna pounce it on you at any moment.
Debate me on Skype at #MarkBrown.
If you have any questions that you want to send along to the podcast, please make sure that you send them to Game Maker's Toolkit on YouTube and Twitter.
Please don't. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
If not that, then writing on games, which is also our other Twitter.
Yeah, if it has games in the name, it's probably us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we are the games company. We're the boys who come up with all the games and all the Twitters about games. So
Okay, so how does Sonic get into this accident? Because obviously, if we're trying to send a message to the kids about safe driving, what exactly are we teaching them? Not to drink while drunk, or is he not wearing a seatbelt?
He had a game, right? He did five-a-side football with the lads on a Sunday, and then he went for a couple of bevies and thought, you know what? I only had a couple. I'm alright to drive. And then the moment he hits the curb and he flips over, bam, right into a child's backyard. Didn't even see it coming.
Perhaps he's celebrating after defeating Robotnik. So the rest of the game is him defeating Robotnik, but we need to kind of have a bit of a lead into that car accident. But that's for another time. It's just, he's celebrating a victory, but then therefore the message can be, even when you're riding high, you got to remain cautious of these things. You can't let your guard down. Can't.
What if he's driving the car that Robotnik has at the beginning of Sonic 2,
Ooh,
where it's got the drill on the front?
That's a good callback.
What if he's, because, spoils of war sort of thing, he thought, you know what? He's not going to have any use for this. There's a giant hole shaped for a big egg craft in it. I reckon I could stick like a lazy boy in that, no problem. And he's just driving that then. And then, that's going to do more damage anyways, because it has got a big drill on the front. Sometimes it shoots out as well if it takes too much damage. So.
And that thing clearly doesn't have good crumple zones.
No, absolutely.
Sonic takes it out in a matter of hits.
Like, of course, Eggman's not, or Robotnik, whatever you want to call the man, he's not really interested in health and safety, and which makes him kind of the antagonist of the series. So if he does something wrong, you kind of expect it. But if Sonic makes the same mistake, everyone's like, oh, I really have to be cautious of these things.
What if Dr. Eggman had sabotaged it?
I think that takes away from the message. If,
But
if
what
it was
we
just like
change
he
the
cut the
message?
brake line. Oh, that's true, yeah, we can work backwards, but then what does the message become? Check your
Avoid
brake lines?
egg-shaped individuals.
Don't trust men.
Always check the Yelp
Especially
reviews.
Eggmen. 100%.
I mean, I'm liking this idea more and more that it's that one from Sonic 2, because in that's the easiest boss fight ever. So it'd be like, this
Yeah,
thing
it
could
is.
never kill Sonic, and just...
And then it kills him
And
in
then
the complete opposite way.
And then Sonic gets a taste of his own medicine when Dr. Eggman starts jumping on top of his car, and then the car flips out, and there we go, side of the road.
How about if Sonic is drinking and driving because Eggman has been defeated and Sonic realizes he doesn't have much to live for? Just with the antagonist defeated and just nothing to do, like, what does he do? He becomes a kind of vapid celebrity. I've said that word a lot about Sonic in the last little bit, but Eggman's defeated, Sonic just goes on talk shows and he does rings around Olympic stadiums just to impress the people, but his speed is now just a gimmick. It's not the thing that saves the day anymore. He's not needed, he's a relic.
To be honest, I've just got this haunting image in my head of just Sonic the Hedgehog opening Lidl's across the country, like with the novelty giant scissors cutting the ribbon.
Oh no, he'd spin dash through the ribbon. Gotta stay on brand, as he always does.
And it wouldn't be like how we would imagine like a 3D Sonic the Hedgehog. It'd be the 16-bit one. Just spin dashes against a ribbon, just split it.
Do you think there's any like need for us warning about the dangers of spin dashing?
I think it's worth warning against it. I mean,
because you know how like the kids, they always replicate things they see. They're like, oh, we'll plank, we'll drink fire, we'll.
I saw a child doing one of them dances from Fortnite the other day, and I didn't know what to think of it.
That's pretty safe compared to trying to spin dash, though. That kid is, if anything, Fortnite does set a better example for kids.
Yeah, but then he started breaking down wooden shacks and trying to make a staircase to shoot his mates.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
Exactly. You start dabbing, and the next thing you know, you hold up in a brick house, clutching a shotgun, waiting to be the last person on Earth.
I mean,
it's never going to happen.
I know I've seen the dangers of Fortnite. I was running for a bus the other day, and just a guy dived out at it while it was going at max speed, and it wasn't pretty. Especially for the driver heading the other way.
Did he at least land there good loot?
Well, his mobile phone landed by my feet, so that's doing all right.
All right, well, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a market.
Always an up.
And a voucher for Subway.
Oh, nice. I would just like to mention as well that this podcast is sponsored by Subway. Today, the sub of the day is Calpol and tuna. So be sure to get on down and get yourself one of those as soon as you can. Sub of the day, £3.99.
No wonder I've been feeling
Subway.
so woozy.
But yeah, I think there's a genuine market for like spin dash based
PSAs.
warnings. Yeah, PSAs.
I can agree with that. We can send send some kind of preppy kids into schools and be like, hey, I love skateboarding and I love pop music, but I'll tell you what I don't love. That's spin dashing. Check it out. And they put a video on and they show like all the spin dash related
they hand them the game.
fatalities.
They hand them the game.
Yeah.
And the game is just Sonic going down a straight. It's going through Green Hill Zone, but the end of Green Hill Zone is just a cliff. And
do you know what they should
there's nothing
do?
past that.
They should show a montage of Sonic the Hedgehog spin dashing all over the place, and then a montage of just Super Mario having a nice run and jumping, and then just drop the just immediate hard cut in the video to average Metacritic scores, and then be like, "This is the effects of spin dashing.
You know,
don't think it could affect you."
I'm thinking this has given me an idea, but I'm not going to spend too long on this one because Sonic doesn't die in it. I mean, he might, just kind of repeatedly, which dilutes. I think Sonic has to die once and final, in my ideas. Not many times, because, he does that anyway. But, that mode in the Burnout games where you just cause as big a pile-up as possible?
Yeah.
But with Sonic spin dashing to create those pile-ups.
But is the pile-up made up of cars or other Sonics?
The other cars can be driven by Sonics.
Is this kind of like Jet Li's The One, where there's been like a kind of all the dimensions are crossed over, and so there's just hundreds of Sonics all converging on the same point and just crashing into one another?
A Sonic singularity.
A Sonic singularity, exactly.
I mean, yeah,
Sega,
maybe.
If you want to use that title for any of your future Sonic games, you know where to send PayPal money.
There aren't going to be any future Sonic games after this one.
They may consider. They may reboot him. I mean, what if does Sonic not have any children?
Yeah,
that could continue on his legacy.
Shadow, is he a child of Sonic's?
Yeah, I guess Shadow is Sonic's son, isn't he?
Yeah, and classic.
That's why
Sonic,
he's a moody, rebellious teenager.
Modern Sonic is classic Sonic's son, so.
Yeah, that is very true. That's why classic Sonic, he sits in a rocking chair and says, "Our games were better in my day." And new Sonic, he wears a tie with the letters S and C on it.
I mean, you have a child and then you just relax and you put the weight on, and that's why he's quite pudgy.
Yeah, exactly.
But anywhere in Sonic lore, has there been a part where Sonic's had a child?
I
Patrick?
haven't finished.
Genuinely don't know.
I haven't finished Spinball, so you never know.
We'll just have to dig into the comics after this to
In
find
Sonic
out.
06, they go to the future, and like Sonic doesn't have any kids in that, so I don't know. But Sonic 06 is incredibly
Isn't
canon.
Silver the guy with the big weed leaf on his head? Is
yeah,
he not
yeah.
Sonic?
No, you know what? They never confirmed that. And
No, there we go.
I really wish now that he is his kid, because then that would just make the entirety of Sonic 06 just verging on the edge of a grandfather paradox. And that would
It'd also
be
be-
dope.
Ooh, that would be very good.
That would improve the game
That'd
tenfold.
be even better if you just start playing that game, and if you defeat Sonic the Hedgehog at any point as Silver, the game just stops, like immediate. Like the rest of the game can't exist. It just burns up in your CD drive.
It's Sonic 06, so that might happen anyway.
I mean,
there's no
they find new bugs
causation.
every single day.
Who is the most likely character to murder Sonic?
Knuckles.
Really? You think he's got it out for him?
Oh,
Tails
no,
is
no,
what
no.
I
It's
was
more manslaughter than murder, to be honest.
Oh yeah, no, it's never. It wouldn't be intentional.
It'd just be, I've played Sonic Forces. Knuckles gets a lot of people killed in that game, just kind of by being himself.
Well, it's war.
That's why they call it War Vector.
War is hell, quoth Knuckles. Can't
Yeah.
believe they got away with that in a Sonic game.
But if we're talking like cold-blooded, determined murder, who is the one that's gonna put Sonic
Are
down?
echidnas cold-blooded animals? Or are they mammals? Are they warm-blooded?
Echidnas are mammals, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're one of the only mammals that lay eggs.
Yeah, along with platypi and
Knuckles has never cracked out that information.
I might have the wrong animal, so you're gonna have to, whenever you're editing this.
no,
Oh my god, are we
right.
gonna have to...
Oh,
right.
good.
I'm gonna have to fact check live on Game Overtime. Something that we've never done before.
I mean,
But here we go.
that way you can have, in this game, if it's correct, you could end on a shot of Knuckles by some eggs, even though he's the last of his species. We can introduce a female echidna. That wouldn't be the first time it's happened. Sonic
Why
Chronicles.
didn't they make the Chow like mini Knuckleses? They come from eggs as well.
Oh, the chows are... I'm not going to finish this line of thought because I've never thought about how much of a link there is between chows and chaos, even though it's the exact same word, just pronounced differently.
oh my god,
Yeah, no, it is literally just missing an apostrophe. That's it.
can't believe this.
Did you not know?
No, I
Like,
hadn't
all the
thought about it.
chaos protected the chows, and then the echidna race genocided them, so chaos genocided the echidnas. That's the plot of Sonic Adventure, a kid's game. There's
Wait.
2 instances of genocide.
Wait, the Knuckles were the bad guys?
The echidnas were.
Yeah.
They got the floor wiped with them for trying to harness the Master Emerald, where the water god Chaos was like, nah, leave my emerald alone.
So why aren't we
That's
playing as
why-
Chaos? The protagonist of the story.
Chaos,
Because-
Chaos he's a complex villain, he's acting out of nature.
He's like Heath Ledger's the Joker. You can't quite understand him.
I really love that scene where they try and give him a bunch of money and he just makes it so soggy that it just breaks apart.
But it's really rubbish Dreamcast water where it's just like a solid shape that appears over it.
And the money pile is just a prop that just gets smaller and smaller until it
Yeah, the money
disappears.
pile, like, just drag it into the ground. You can see it like a really simple translation. Diddle-a-doo.
And they just played the drowning music over that scene, which I thought to be in poor taste.
Yeah, no, I thought so too.
Can we kill Sonic? Sonic has to drown, right?
That's true,
Die.
yeah. He's always had a thing with water.
Yeah. Not a good thing. A very, very bad thing.
What if we make a game where you play as water and your job is to try and drown Sonic the Hedgehog in
do we-
every level?
Do we want to put the death of Sonic in the hands of players? Do we want to? Who's actually going to pick up the controller and think, yes, I will now kill
Hey,
Sonic the
This
Hedgehog?
is a big
on purpose?
this is a big spoiler, but did you not shoot the boss at the end of Metal Gear Solid 3?
I haven't played it, but
Ben hasn't played Metal Gear Solid 3.
They go
I
over
did.
the fact that happened a lot in the games
Okay,
anyway.
but if it was Metal Gear Solid 3 and it was Sonic the Hedgehog, I definitely would not.
Do you
have
remember
killed
at
him.
the end of Super Mario Sunshine where you have to kill Baby Bowser
Yeah.
in order for what's his face, President Lyndon B. Johnson to say, "You've surpassed even Mario himself. I've given you the title of Super Mario." That's a joke for me and me alone, there.
I found it funny.
Oh, that's good. Thanks. Anyways, Sonic Drowning. You play as water, and in every level, you're trying to. It's like a problem that you have to solve. Like maybe there's walls in the way, maybe there's pipes, but at the end of it, you just need to get him drowned. I think that'd be good.
So Sonic dies in a puzzle game. That's good because it's a slow-moving puzzler. I imagine the opposite of what Sonic is about, which is high-speed platforming.
We
Exactly.
subvert the expectations of the player in one fell swoop.
And there's a kind of beautiful irony in that what is Mario known for? Pipes.
Oh shit!
Ooh.
Nintendo killed Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's a deep cut.
We could pin it on them, get them in court, frame for the murder of Sonic P. Hedgehog.
Who do you think would represent Miyamoto in court? Do you think he'd do
Anyone.
it himself? Do you think he'd be in court and you'd be like, you know what, this is a really good idea for a game, and then like 2 years later, on the Wii U, there'll be like a gavel game where you use the gavel to solve stuff.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's how Miyamoto gets all his ideas.
It's true.
But yeah,
He wouldn't have made Call of Duty unless he had gone to war first. He wouldn't have made Hatred unless he had, well, not gonna finish that joke because it's in bad taste.
And the Fallout is still in there.
I think Reggie Fils-Aimé would probably defend Miyamoto in court.
Can anybody here do a good Reggie impression?
No.
Could we keep that skit going?
I'm just
Okay,
I'm just imagining Mario as a lawyer because he's a doctor and all that as well. So I think he's past the bar.
He's worn a suit. I've played Super Mario Odyssey. That's one of the things you can dress him in is a businessman suit.
Better call
And the
Mario.
Sonic the Hedgehog costume.
That's true. There is a Sonic the Hedgehog costume in Odyssey, and famously, one of the tasks in that is Toad's against a door, and he's like, "Oh well, I can't let you in here. It's too good. I'll tell you what. If you were dressed up like an embarrassing piece of shit, I'd probably let you through." And you go, I wonder what costume does that.
Yeah, there's a clown. There's a just like a guy that's got no clothes on, and there's a Sonic the Hedgehog costume, and you know which one to pick.
Yeah, and the Sonic the I can't even say his name.
Yeah,
Could that be a potential death? Is people being unable to pronounce his name? So it's rather than a death of the self, it's like a death of identity.
Oh yeah, just that whole thing. You die twice. When you really die and when people don't say your name anymore.
There we go. And that could be like you do the first death, and then there's like the bonus one where that's how you get the second death. Just like Crash Bandicoot, you have to get the gem as well as the gem.
After Sonic dies in the game, there's just a montage where Sonic memorabilia just kind of gradually gets phased out. You just see some of it in a landfill, and posters getting taken down, replaced, and then eventually
I don't know why, but
the world's just really grey.
buried in the desert somewhere.
For some reason, when you said that, I imagined it like when Marty McFly goes back to the 50s and he's got the photo with him and his brother and sister and it's fading out. But instead of that, it's a photo of Sonic the Hedgehog memorabilia. Like a room just full of it and just slowly bits of it is just disappearing.
It's a Sonic the Hedgehog's biggest fan in there.
Doc, I need to go back to 1950. I need to say Sonic the Hedgehog.
I need to head back to
He
1990.
just goes up on stage at the fucking homecoming dance and he's like, "Oh no, somebody needs to replace the band leader. Hey, I got an idea." And he just starts playing fucking like
Live and Learn.
Live and Learn, yeah. Escape from the City.
You don't get it, but your kids are gonna love that one. he tries to play off.
Oh, this song. I bet it's attached to a really good game.
And it's just this, like, fucking... This old-fashioned rock and roll band where they've got, like, a double bass and stuff, but suddenly they've just, like, one of them's got a synthesizer and can play that song.
And that's how we save Sonic. Whoa. That's not how... That's how someone's going to save Sonic eventually. After we kill him, 5 years from now.
That's when Marty McFly goes back to save Sonic the Hedgehog. Because a man gets out of a car from the government and he says, I have a letter for you here. I've been holding on to this for 40 years. And he opens the letter and it's Sonic the Hedgehog doing a wink at him. And he knows what that means.
To be honest, I'm not sure anyone would be willing to go back in time to save Sonic the Hedgehog. Like,
that's I mean, it's kind of literally the plot of... Why am I doing this?
It is the plot of Sonic 06.
It is the plot. Well, at first it's someone going back in time to kill him, and then they just kind of double back and go to the future. No, it's someone going to the future to save Shadow, actually.
And he goes back in time in order to save Princess Elise. Because she dies off camera.
People go back in time several times to save her and don't understand how time travel works.
Yeah, but that's in Sonic Universe. I'm talking real life when we figure
I'd
out
go
time
back
travel.
I'd go back in time to save... Wait, but I'm on a podcast about killing him right now, so that just makes me a hypocrite.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking is that because our ideas for saving him are so rubbish, people will want him to die. And that's, in part 2 of the podcast, that's when we, we get in.
I do actually have... Okay, I thought of something. I thought of something perfect.
Okay.
So, what have Sonic fans been clamoring for years? Non-stop.
A good game.
Okay, but specifically... Oh no.
Ben, are you okay?
Are you okay,
You
Ben?
keep cutting out, and I'm like, okay, I'll just leave and come back.
Is it good now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want us to do another sync test, or should we be alright?
Oh, no, it'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, I'll restart my bit. So, what have Sonic...
Oh no, I'm roboting as well. Alright. Oh no. Okay, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm Robotnicking.
Oh, no.
Alright. What have Sonic fans been clamoring for years?
Sonic.
Yeah, they've more or less got that. But what have they really been clamoring for besides that?
A good boost formula game.
2 Sonics.
Alright. Sonic Adventure 3.
Oh, yeah, that one too.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now,
okay.
what's the Sonic Adventure formula about? Multiple characters. A lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So my idea in this one is, in all of them, you start playing as Sonic. Except in Sonic Adventure 2, where you can choose... That's just forgetting the point. Let's not fact check myself.
Okay.
People
Let's not worry
understand what I'm
about it.
saying. In this game, you don't start playing as Sonic.
Oh, no.
It starts with a character selection, and whoever you pick, they walk up first to deliver their eulogy at his funeral.
Oh, no.
Oh,
and
my
then you
God.
flash back, and you play a bunch of levels as that character, and it based on their relationship to Sonic. You have multiple gameplay styles.
Oh, is it a flashback to, like, their time hanging out with Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah. It's like, you know how
Is it going to
Sonic
be like the
Generations...
death of Batman, where they all have
Yes,
different interpretations of Sonic as well?
Yeah, it's what happened to the Cape Crusader, but with Sonic. And I've got to confess, this isn't my idea. As I was coming into the office today, someone sprinted up to me and handed me a note with this written on it. So I'm just adding a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's really weird. I think that was someone coming... Well, they were wearing these really, really flashy clothes that were really bioluminescent, so...
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
Alright, very weird.
Yeah. And they said, don't open this letter until 2030, but I've never really cared, to be honest.
Maybe he meant 2030 at night,
Yeah.
which
Let me check.
technically... Almost.
Yeah, there is a colon between them, so yeah, it was 8:30. That's exactly what they meant.
There was a colon
okay,
between
that's-
his words, like, visibly, when he said it.
And not like the letter, the colon. I mean the
The
body part.
yeah.
And
And-
I'm thinking, so like Tails imagines Sonic like he's 16-bit Sonic. And
I think it could be like that game where the further you get in it, the more the graphics advance.
oh,
And
okay.
And eventually you're playing as Lyric from Sonic Boom: The Rise of
But
Lyric.
even more ironically, the further you progress into the game, the graphics get better, but the gameplay suddenly gets much worse.
Well, hang on. I've got my idea. So there's one character who you can't play as until the end. It's the last story you unlock.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Knuckles.
Why?
But why?
Because Knuckles is the one who killed him.
Oh, no.
What?
And here's the thing. We put a different twist. You know how Knuckles' gameplay was all about finding emeralds?
Mm-hmm.
His is about hiding Sonic's body.
Oh, shit. So it's like you get a thing and you're holding Sonic's body. You get a hint, and it's like, oh, this would be the
You
perfect...
still get the hot and cold meter where it's pinging for you, but it's like
Yeah.
pinging for you like the furthest away from the police. Like it does trigonometry, like furthest away you can do it.
I was gonna say you find a spot and it's like, oh, this would be perfect. You put him there, and like this, it turns out there's a problem with that spot, so you got to move him, and you go through
I
like
like-
multiple levels doing that.
I like the idea that it's like Sonic Adventure, where it's like he has to go to all the different levels that Sonic did, but it's because he keeps trying to find places to hide him, but like the police is too near, so eventually he just goes to the egg carrier, where he knows that the police aren't going to be there.
Well, no, here's what I was thinking. The final stage is Green Hill Zone, which is just leaves him so guilt-ridden he confesses at the
Oh
funeral.
my god.
But it's like also sandy, and they call it Sandhill Zone, and it's a really good joke.
Oh yeah, they really drill that one in there.
Yeah, he says it twice just to make sure.
That is something I'm realizing now that you said that. Is this idea a bit too high concept for the current Sonic writers?
No.
Okay.
That's what they've asked us to come up with the idea. They're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna get us to write it, and then if we do a good job, they'll let us write other Sega games as well.
Yeah, we can revive Billy Hatcher.
Yeah, Ben's gonna revive Billy Hatcher.
I've always hoped to write a Yakuza game.
There we go.
Perfect.
You're gonna write a Yakuza game, and I'm gonna bring back Comic Zone. So we've
Okay.
got it all going on, boys.
Great. There goes the alarm though.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
Well, yeah, you don't know what that alarm is.
No, I
Patrick.
don't. Why do we have an alarm in our office?
Well, if it's not the fire one, we'll explain it to you in a second.
Hello and welcome to Coffee Break, the section where we talk about stuff.
What kind of stuff we're going to talk about today? Actually, more importantly, we got a special guest on today, as we may not have known. I would say that he's a resident Sonic the Hedgehog expert, which is why we had him on the show.
So I can kill him.
Yes, exactly.
I know all his weak points.
You need, yeah, exactly. It takes somebody. You have to know him to love him to kill him, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. So Patrick, reveal your secret identity. Who are you really?
Patrick, but I'm also TehSnakerer online. I do video game garbage.
Oh my god.
Really long video game garbage where I talk about a game for way too long. Perhaps way too passionately. Probably not, though.
Fair enough. We do an hour and a half long podcast every 2 weeks.
That's very true.
So
We sometimes also make videos. For example, I've made a few.
I've
Ben's
made one.
But it was one that got you places.
I was about to say,
it
you
got
got
me
him
on
on
a
a
list.
list. Didn't get me on a list. I haven't made the list yet, but
Yeah, he's on that grind. I just popped out one.
I was
No,
on that
exactly.
list. I hated that list.
We all hated that list unironically, but we all loved it ironically.
I hated it ironically and unironically.
I'm
I
with
still have it in
James
my
on
Twitter
this.
bio.
Let's see.
I want to
But
give
hey.
that guy that power. I hope he's listening to this. I rate you 0 out of 10 list makers.
Super
I-
Chiga.
Was it Chiga or Chiga?
Chiga, one of those.
But we're not going to say that one because that's almost a little bit too close to a bad word. So
Okay,
we'll go
yeah.
with Chiga. Like a
Okay.
Mega.
Anyway, what have you been playing, Patrick?
My life lately, granted, okay, I could say recently, but for the last 5 years has been enveloped by the video game series Yakuza. And so I recently beat Yakuza 2, and I adore it. It's a game that has got a fair few flaws. I made a really, really long video on it. A few flaws in the combat area, I feel, but it did massively improve it from 1. It's got one of the best stories in the series, which would take me roughly an hour and a half to go over, if not longer, depending on the level of detail. And it's just kind of where to sit. I started the series at 3, and the ones that come out nowadays are very different beasts from the PS2 games in a number of ways, but I still very much enjoyed my time with 2.
Say if I was a peon who hadn't played a video game since Pac-Man, and I wanted to buy something brand new for my shiny PS2. What's the big selling point of the Yakuza games? What's the thing that you like about them that you think other people would probably like about them?
Where's the hook?
Hey, guys, do you want to take a holiday in Japan, but you don't have money?
Oh, well.
I
can't say I
money,
would.
But not enough money to go on holiday.
This is like a virtual holiday, but you get to beat people up. There's a crime thriller. You can play shogi and mahjong.
Huh?
You can go and get drunk and then beat up a thug.
Oh, I love that.
You can tell a guy, I peacocked your mum.
I do that every day anyway.
And then a Korean mafia syndicate tries to get revenge for actions that your adoptive father carried out 20 years ago, where he massacred a bunch of gang members, and it's
that also
quite
happens
tragic.
every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, well, you did sell me on it.
I was about to say I'm sold on it. The only time I've ever played a game where somebody went on holiday, it was awful because I had to do chores because he was framed for a crime he didn't commit. It was terrible.
Yeah. So basically, Super Mario Sunshine is, even though it came out before the first Yakuza by a number of years, it's just a shallow attempt to be Yakuza. But it does.
I thought you were going to say it was the original Yakuza 0. It was the game
prototype
that set
version.
despite being made by a completely different company.
No. Super Mario Sunshine is basically Yakuza, but without soul. Does Mario have a big tattoo of a dragon on his back? No, he doesn't.
Well, no, that's very true. He's got a small tribal tattoo on his shoulder, but that's
I was going to say, he has that one tattoo from the old ad.
Oh, that's weird. I heard he had a tramp stamp.
Oh, he's got that as well.
Yeah. They don't show that in any of the games.
You see that in Super Mario Odyssey. In fact, that's how you get one of the moons. That's why people complain about how many moons there are in that game, because one of them you get for him having a tramp stamp. So, speaking of GameCube games and speaking of Yakuza, I still think it's really funny that the guy who directs the Yakuza games, so was the main producer on them, he got that gig because of the Super Monkey Ball games.
And if you look at pictures of him,
but I've seen. Have you seen before and after pictures of him? There's the before pictures when he was making Monkey Ball, where he was like, "Oh, I'm just making a fun arcade game, And then you see pictures of him now, and he's like King of the Gypsies, fantastic tan man.
No,
has anyone
making
done that Virgin Chad meme?
Has gotten to him. It's changed him as a person.
It's turned him into a Yakuza, but not like a real one, but all the swagger of one.
I mean, he works at Sega. Fact-checking for a Yakuza game is basically talking to the guy behind you.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I actually, the first 2 Yakuza games, because I'm filled with facts about these, was co-written by a rather well-respected Japanese crime author.
Really?
Yeah. And he basically walked in after their first draft, he read it, and he said, "This is the most inauthentic pile of shit I've ever read." They said, "We're going to have to go out and do more fact-checking," and so just basically every night hitting up fucking, bars and such in the dodgier areas of Tokyo to get their fact-checking done. And that's, Yakuza isn't an authentic series to the Yakuza lifestyle. There's, there's nods to it, but it's very, very hyper-realistic. But
and I was going to say it almost kind of glamorizes it a little bit. It's almost like all the kind of the good stuff from Train Spotting. There's none of the bad stuff about being in the Yakuza games.
Well, here's the thing about Yakuza that throws me is just I'm realizing it more the more I deep dive into these. I think the big angle I had in my Yakuza 2 video that people have probably covered before, but saying is that Kiryu is this idealized Yakuza. He literally runs an orphanage for the kids for a few years. He quits the Yakuza so he can care for his adoptive daughter. Because he's like, no, I gotta leave the Yakuza lifestyle behind to bring my girl up right. But then he gets dragged back in every time because he's this idealized, honorable Yakuza who's like, the Yakuza has to be righteous and honorable, and no, we won't hurt civilians, and we won't do this and this. And every game is basically someone in the Tojo is a bit too much of a businessman, And so Kiryu just stomps into the office and beats the shit out of everyone and goes, no, this isn't the Yakuza way. Fucks up the clan. And then next year, oh, they declared war on us. Why? Because everyone in the clan was beaten up by you, Kiryu. You fucked up our finances by running a one-man war on us for the 5th year in a row. And then you keep coming back and romanticizing the Yakuza ideal. Anyway, I love Kiryu. He's one of my favorite protagonists, but he fucks everything up.
He gets a lot of love in places.
Yeah.
Even Paul Rudd dressed up like him at the Avengers premiere. That's how much he likes him.
He's a solid lad.
He is a solid lad.
He is a solid lad.
He's not Solid Snake, but he is a solid lad, so I'll give him that. I do need to play one of them nowadays. I bought Zero, and I still haven't... I've got it installed, and I haven't even opened it yet. I don't even know if it runs on my PC, so...
Zero is a fine entry point. It's just... I was a Yakuza fan from 3 onwards. That's when I started playing the series, and it took years for 5 to come out. So the fact that there are Yakuza fans who are unhappy the series is popular now, like mainstream, like it's no longer our niche series, that shit can fuck off, because before we weren't even getting them.
I hate that mentality. Are you
saying that Yakuza is the Radiohead of Sega games?
I am saying that.
What would you suggest? What is the Benz of the Yakuza games? What is the OK Computer of the Yakuza games?
Now, you see, I agreed with you, but I don't know anything about Radiohead, so now this is out of my depth.
Okay, rate them in order of which ones you think are the best ones, and I'll tell you what Radiohead albums they are.
Oh, God, okay. This is really hard. Best to worst. I don't want to do this, actually. It's really hard. It is really hard.
Kill your babies now.
Kill my babies now. I'll say the worst one, and this is such an easy low pick that I'm basically being a coward. The worst one is Dead Souls, which that's easy. That's a zombie shooter spin-off, so who gives a fuck?
Okay, that is cheating.
That is cheating. The worst mainline entry, then, let's say, is probably 3, which is my entry to the series, and it's very middling, and genuinely, so much of the early story is just you caring for an orphanage.
Okay, that's fair enough.
So that's the Kid A of the series, then.
It takes way too long to make its point, which the point is, hey, you care about this orphanage. By the way, the military has contracted out this land and they're going to build an army base here. So then Kiryu gets wrapped up in a giant conspiracy to stop the construction of either a hotel or a military base on his orphanage.
I thought you were going to say he gets wrapped up in like a military conspiracy.
He kind of does.
Okay, that's even better then.
And the same thing happens in 6, and it's really weird.
I was going to say, do the games escalate at all?
From
what I believe...
up and down.
Okay.
I honestly think 6 attempts to be smaller scale because it's the send-off for Kiryu, so it's just about, hey, here's Kiryu's family drama, here's his big send-off. 1 is just like, hey, there's an internal dispute within your Yakuza clan, and you're at the center of it. And in 2, there is a fucking war going on between 2 clans. In 5, it is this 5-city pile-up of trying to stop this massive Yakuza plot in an enemy faction. And it's... Okay. Yeah, it escalates up and down awkwardly, and I think in some entries, I think 3... it gets a bit too lofty, like genuinely. I think it's the FBI or CIA gets involved.
The Central Intelligence Agency of America get involved. Like.
No, genuinely, because like an American military base on Japanese soil or something.
Oh yeah, okay, no, that's fair enough.
And I think it's at that point, and genuinely like an attack helicopter shoots up a Japanese high-rise, and it's like, okay, let's chill for 2 seconds here, lads.
Let's go back down. I know it's like a constant upwards incline, just go back down the other side.
I mean, in fairness, the best things do escalate. For example, the Fast and the Furious films. And the only series that I respect enough to call the FF series.
And here's the thing.
FF7 is my favourite of the Fast and the Furious films.
It was really sad when Vin Diesel died in a car crash in that one.
Yeah. The car drove right through him and you couldn't bring him back.
But here's the thing, is I'm talking about the plots of the Yakuza games, and people, I believe, like the plots of them. I definitely do like the plots of them. I enjoy the kind of crime melodrama where all the characters just kind of pontificate on honor and shit like that. it's kind of a long series thing of honor versus pragmatism that's kind of always in the background. Like the evil guys are always generally the businessmen. But no one cares. The thing that people care about in Yakuza is the side content. It's Kiryu hitting up the clubs, singing karaoke, and
I like how high effort all of their side stuff is. Like,
it's way too much. Like getting the main actor to record a bunch of karaoke songs, and he's a really good singer.
Yeah,
it is very impressive. Like all the mini games that they put so much effort into.
It's the sort of thing that they would never do in a GTA game. Like that sort of. Well, I mean, they would never do that sort of like level of camp because that's not the kind of series it is, and also
it's edgy and cool.
And
exactly.
Here's the extra thing I appreciate about them, because not just effort, a lot of the side missions have actual plots to them.
Right.
They have stories that are the length of other games, and they're just there.
I always hear about all the side stories and like how they're one of the best parts about the games.
Because here's what it is in 5. In 5, there are 5 playable characters, and they all have their main plot, and they all have a side story. So, Saejima, his story is he escapes from prison because he hears his best mate got killed. So he busts out of prison to go into the criminal underworld and discover what happened. And then along the way, he gets attacked by a bear, beats it up, and then gets taken to this hunting village. They take him in, and then you can totally ignore it. Or there is a 5-hour-long first-person shooter hunting minigame that has a plot about hunting down this legendary bear before it destroys the village.
Oh, this sounds amazing.
Which ends with a harder bear boss fight.
Why haven't I played the Yakuza series?
Why? I don't know why I've never played these games before, right? At least.
I'm gonna sweeten the pot. Kiryu in 5, he's a taxi driver in hiding. There's a lot of weird reasons. So his mini game is working for the taxi company, which is one half you have to drive slowly, you have to drive, obey traffic laws, and also make conversation with your passengers at the same time.
Oh, this is so good.
And then the other half is you find out that there is a street racing gang threatening the local civilians, so you get involved, and there's a racing mini game as well.
Wow.
Why didn't you tell me this when you were trying to sell me on the series?
Because it's so deep.
It is like the Sega game though, isn't it? You got Crazy Taxi, you got Outrun, you got Virtua Fighter style fighting, even though it's not as in depth as Virtua Fighter.
And hey, in Yakuza and in Yakuza Kiwami and in Yakuza Kiwami 2, and 5 as well, there is a fully playable version of Virtua Fighter just in there for free. And Kiwami 2 has Virtua On, but I've only just played it for the first time. I can't get on with Virtua On. It's weird.
Has it got any of the Sega arcade games? It's got Outrun?
It's riddled with Billy Hatcher references, isn't it?
What's that one where you're a bloke who's running along and you're holding onto a rocket?
Oh, Super Hang-On.
Super Hang-On, yeah, they got Super Hang-On. They got Outrun, as you say. They got UFO catchers.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. They got batting cages, and I could just list off
everything.
Everything. If I were to list off genuinely, there's a survey going around because Sega is doing a survey which people are hoping is drumming up interest to potentially port over Kenzan and Ishin.
I heard about this.
Which are the ones taking place in Japan, and I can't remember the exact dates, but they're very far.
The samurai era stuff, yeah.
So, yeah, some of it is early samurai, some of it is quite late samurai. And it's the Yakuza characters, but playing historical figures and recreating it, which is really cute, and I love it. It's basically Yakuza the Panto. So,
the Yakuza Christmas special.
And just, they had this very thorough list, and I filled out the survey, and when it got to what is your favorite mini game, you just clicked it, and it's just this giant, longer than the page list that you just have to scroll through, and it's like, what is my favorite? I ended up picking karaoke, but that's probably not my choice. It's just karaoke. It's
iconic.
It's iconic.
Yeah. And they're going to put that in Kenzan.
I hope so.
But it's, even though it's like set in like Edo period Japan, it's like they're singing 80s pop songs.
I've just had a genuine idea, and it's just just that. It's just There needs to be a Rakugo minigame and just go full Japanese.
Ooh.
Oh.
Have they got pachinko machines in it?
Yes, and they are
course they
fucking
do.
indecipherable.
Oh my gosh.
I genuinely, actually, okay. I've only played about 20 minutes of pachinko before I just looked at it and said, I think I would have to have been born and raised in this country to. It was just like after I tried to watch Joshiraku, whatever the fuck that show was. Just, I'm not Japanese enough to understand this.
I think I would have had to be born and raised inside a pachinko machine to understand this.
I think that's even more true. It's probably not actually that complex. It's just a lot of flash for nothing. I think
it's probably like a fruit machine. It's one of those things that you just keep an eye on it and wait for it to kind of be filled up with money, and then you know it's going to pay out.
I think it's more just it's a 2p machine on steroids.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is full of ball bearings, so
Yeah.
I suppose it would be.
And you just walk in there and, oh my god. I haven't even talked... There's one... No, I could go on forever. If I talk about one thing in Yakuza, it will lead to another. It will lead to another.
Tell us one more thing, though. Go on, why not?
The hardest minigame in Yakuza there ever was, to me. So, do you know what Japanese stand-up comedy is like?
No.
I know the Japanese stand-up comedy is a thing, and a little bit of it is slapstick, but that's about it.
It's kind of slapstick, but they very much like Idiot and Straight Man's routines.
Lauren Hardy's stuff.
But less physical, but it's just a lot of it is it's one person will say something stupid and then the other person will rebuke them. And I've not watched enough to know if it gets any more complex than just rebuking them with a slight play on words. But the hardest minigame ever is in 5, and you play as the straight man in an idiot routine.
Oh, wow.
And it's genuinely impossible for an English speaker because you have to time it to perfect kind of the syllable of when you should deliver the rebuke, which in the Japanese language to an English speaker is... I could not. I sat down for half an hour and I couldn't even get past the first segment because I just couldn't.
It's like insult sword fighting from Monkey Island, but like roided out.
Yeah. And it's... And in a way, just kind of to turn this into something positive, to put a spin on it. The fact is, it's so steeped in its own culture and just kind of, you know, not just reverence, but just kind of like, this is our culture, this is who we are as a people, this is us to the world. But exaggerated is what I love about Yakuza because it feels... It's a series that is very much its own thing, and I love it so much for that. It's got its own identity, it's very steeped in Japanese culture, and I adore it. I love it so much. It is a fantastic series. It's got a lot of charm. It's not perfect gameplay-wise. It's very... A lot of its combat is very basic. Once you get it down, it's not too hard. There's depth to it in places. A lot of the minigames are just, you know, they're fun. They're fun minigames, but they're not world-shattering, but they don't need to be. It's very much a game that sells itself on personality and charm, and yeah.
But...
If you want to hear more on the Snake's thoughts, or Patrick's thoughts on the Yakuza series, he has a few videos on his channel, I believe, right?
I'm at Yakuza 2.
Okay, so you've done...
His
have you done
most recent
Zero?
video about Yakuza 2.
Yeah.
And hey, it came out just before Kiwami 2, which is a remake of Yakuza 2. So if you want to know a bit more about the original game it was based on, then give it a go. We will put a link in the description.
It does have spoilers.
Yes, big old warning. It does have spoilers. But I will ask, just for a quick clarification, because you did say that it's got stand-up in it. Is it as good as 4 hours of mo-capped footage of Ricky Gervais doing stand-up in GTA 4?
Me stubbing my toe is better than Ricky Gervais anything.
Rockstar's table tennis was a better use of the technology than fucking...
Putting Ricky Gervais into a virtual medium so that he may never die might be the greatest waste of human resources there ever was.
Oh my god, can you imagine? Because you know that's what Kojima's doing for Death Stranding, is that he's been scanning directors and actors in. Imagine if he just goes looking for like, oh, has anybody got any 3D actor models? And like he goes past all the David Cage ones and he just finds this really rubbish Ricky Gervais one from GTA 4 and he goes... That's our main character.
There we go. That's him.
you just cut to in the middle of Death Stranding, just Ricky Gervais in this post-apocalyptic stage, just with a Bible, just yelling, "Nah, this is a bunch of rubbish, isn't it?" And then he just gets ran through with a spike by a monster.
It's just non-stop fucking commentary. You're just walking around the countryside and he's like, "Ooh, look at that hill again."
He's looking through all the models and stuff, and he finds one of the Nostalgia Critic.
You know how in the Metal Gear games you can play around with the in-game camera to point at different people? Basically, it takes complete control away from you because it keeps fucking panning over to him where he's just mugging at everything. Oh dear.
James.
Sorry to any Sonic the Hedgehog fans and Ricky Gervais fans in the audience. Thank you, the latter. We could do without you. Just saying. Take that.
Anyway,
sorry, Ben. What were we going to say?
What have you been up to?
I've been playing Recore. Recore's okay. I've been playing Recore because I bought a Xbox Game Pass because my PC finally fixed itself and I could install Windows apps. So I played Sea of Thieves for a hot minute. It's okay. It's not really rare back on top form, but it's alright. It's, as I can't remember who I said it to, but it's what No Man's Sky should be like. More about mechanics and practical stuff and less about...
pirates.
And pirates, yeah. Not a lot of pirates in... Not even like space pirates in... what's it called?
A missed
No Man's
opportunity.
Sky. Yeah. Well, do you know what my favourite thing is about... Okay, so... Sea of Thieves isn't a great game. I'll just say that much. There's not a lot to it. It's kind of one of those things that you have to put into it to get something out of it. But it's got a really stupid feature in it that I really like. Yeah. Which is... You can put yourself into a cannon.
Yes.
And shoot yourself out. And it reminds me of Super Mario 64, and I'm like, this is great. I just want to do this all the time.
Your team is like, okay, we're going to get on this island, you get on the island, you swim back to your ship, and get in the cannon again, they ask you what you're doing.
There is literally a tactic, because, like, the game is harsh. Like, you just die quite frequently if you go for the higher level stuff, and haven't really got the team for it. And so, like, you always get sent to Davy Jones' locker, and then a couple of minutes later, you respawn back into the world. So it is, like, advantageous to basically set up your ship, so you can put yourself into a cannon, and then shoot yourself to back where you were.
From what I do hear about Sea of Thieves, and this is probably the most basic observation, but it's a game that is fun moments that are punctuated by long stretches of not much at all happening.
What it kind of strikes me as is, when they kind of say how emergent stuff is kind of what people remember from games. So like something like MGS5, where like you might remember bits of the plot, but what the stuff you actually remember is like, oh, you put some C4 on a tank and then you let the tank go into a thing and then you blew it up and then like that ended up like knocking something, like basically it's kind of like a chaos engine for creating stuff, and because you were kind of involved in that's what made it memorable for you. Sea of Thieves feels like it's an engine for that, but it hasn't got quite enough stuff to
I understand the possibility space for that is, what do you have to work with? You have cages for animals, swords to stab stuff. I'm spitballing because I know very little.
You have
barrels.
Well, my favorite thing is that you only have you only have 2 types of guns and a sword, but there's 3 different types of instruments in the game, and a megaphone.
And they don't do anything with gameplay, do they?
So it's very much Skullgirls.
Well, you can use them to play music to people, and you could use that as some kind of thing. But my favorite thing about the game is that there's megaphone in it. So the way that the game works is that like, if you're standing next to somebody, you can hear them on the mic. And if you're in a party, then you can do that. But then if you're on a ship far away, you can't, unless you use the megaphone. And you can use it to throw your voice.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's pretty good.
I mean, I imagine that's probably the best part about the game, interacting with other people, using proximity chat or...
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of a lot of, because a lot of the missions are, I'll get gold back to an island or something like that. And because the sea, the islands are kind of harsh because of the skeletons and the sea's quite harsh as well. You can be like, oh, hey, I'll help you out. We can, do some stuff together. And there is actually like stuff in the game for joining into basic alliances and stuff. but it's also kind of an engine for like backstabbing people as well, and just kind of like a lot of social engineering stuff, which I always think it's kind of, the game sort of needs to give you a bit of a push to do that, but for the people who kind of know how to do that and know how to kind of roll with that stuff, like that works really well. So
Yeah.
like I can't remember what game I said it of. I think it actually might have been No Man's Sky, but it applies more to this, where it's like, this isn't a game for everybody, but for like someone, this would be their everyday game.
Oh,
like this
yeah.
is the one that they would log on and just put 3 hours into every single evening.
And I'm pretty sure people do.
I mean, in fairness, a pal of mine has been playing it since it came out and has been pushing for me to play it since it's come out, and that's the whole reason why, I played it the other day. And it's okay.
I have a feeling I annoy my friends with this, because whenever there is... I've never realised it myself, but whenever there's a game like this where it's like, we should all buy this and play it, I'm always the first one to get bored and just like, no, you guys go ahead. Because I have games like that, but they're games I play podcasts to, essentially, and just to forget about. And if I'm doing that, it's like, I don't know, I always feel like I'm just kind of dragging down other people's fun by not really being as into it.
I was going to say, like, my everyday, like, Fortnite, I don't know. Yeah, no, I guess Fortnite's the only exception, because that is something that, like, I will play with my friends and, like, try and make it kind of try and push for a weekly thing. We haven't played it in a long while, though, but there was a time where we were playing that, like, nearly every other night when it came out.
Mine recently has been Fistful of Frags again, which...
Yeah, been meaning to have a look at that
yeah, I
Fistful of
told you
Frags.
about it. We should play it, because it's totally free, and...
I'll try it.
It
looks like
join as
Cowboy...
well. We will kick people off of buildings.
Oh, good.
Nice.
That's a good mechanic.
What game is it most like?
This is weird, because it's a very slow-paced shooter, but it's also very fast-paced.
Because I keep
That's
getting
what
it
you
confused
think, like-
with... Do you remember the cowboy-themed Team Fortress 2 game?
Vaguely, was that the third-person shooter that was very short-lived?
Yeah, it was definitely very short-lived. I can't remember if it was third or first, but I just remember that there was like a dynamite guy in it who was like the scout, and there was like a sniper and
I
stuff.
think I know what you're talking about. I was okay at that game. So but I
that
only
game
played
was
it on 3
alright.
weekends, so that could have been why. I probably still have, because I did actually, ironically, I eventually just caved and thought, you know what, this is fun enough, I'll buy it. And when I bought it, it was already dead by that time. It being on sale didn't help.
I bought Brink at release. And that game was
I
pretty
had a
much...
friend who was super excited for Brink way back when.
I got fucking tricked into... I
hate
don't even know
hearing that.
how. I got myself into a hype over Brink, and I was like the only person who hyped myself over it, and I don't know why.
Was the game Lead and Gold?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lead and Gold. That's what I was thinking of.
We were probably us two are probably one of the 2 of the 50 people who played Lead and Gold.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got mostly positive, 733 mostly positive reviews, so we're 2 of 733 at the least
that's
who
good.
played it.
It always struck me as they saw that Team Fortress 2 comic where they showed like the original version of them in the 1800s, where one of them's like Abraham Lincoln, and they said, we'll make a game out of that.
My goodness, the HUD is very Team Fortress 2 now I'm looking back at this.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. This is like, people say, oh, Overwatch, it's just doing Team Fortress 2. No, this literally was just Cowboys Team Fortress 2.
I decided to look up the developer Fat Shark, 'cause I had never put... They made Vermintide and Vermintide 2, so they're doing
Yeah,
better
Fat
today.
Shark have been around for a while. I think they did, I want to say they did Bionic Commando Rearmed, or they might have done Rearmed 2. Rearmed's very good. 2's not, though. So, there we go. Put that in your fact hat. Recore, though. Recore's okay. It's a chill experience. It reminds me of like a GameCube PlayStation 2 game that I would rent like as a kid that would be like tied to a film or would have a Ubisoft logo on it, where you have like a ton of fun with it, but you know that it's not a particularly competent game. And this one isn't. Like it's got weird bugs in it and some weird level design stuff, but I just kind of like it. It's chill, and it's not very Metroidvania-y though, which is, well, actually no, that's not true. It's got utility weapons in it that do unlock new paths, and it's got robot buddies that do the same. But reminds me a little bit of Breath of the Wild. There's a lot of like mini dungeons and stuff where you get like, you unlock bits and you use those bits to kind of unlock more dungeons and unlock more stuff. So yeah, it's okay. It's not Xbox first party flagship title, like
Is anything?
fantastic. Well, Forza, I guess. Eventually, Master Chief Collection once they patch it, but that's about it.
It was one of those games where, like, I think it was possibly my most excited game at one point.
Because it was ex-Metroid Prime.
That might have been it. But
yeah, but you say that, but then you never played Arkham Origins Asylum Blackgate on the PSP, which is genuinely one of the worst Metroidvania games I've ever played.
Oh god. But I just never ended up getting it mostly because I didn't want to dust off my Xbox One.
It's what I would call a perfect £20 game. It's not something that you would want to buy full price, or it's a good rental game as well. Actually, I think that's why I quite like playing it on Game Pass, because it just kind of feels like a perfect little game for that service.
Yeah.
Just something that you can plug a few hours into every night and get some stuff and
get
do
there.
Yeah, it's okay. What about you, though, Ben? Have you been playing Hollow Knight?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's the new update is hellish.
I've heard.
It's genuinely one of the most brutal thing I've ever done in a game.
Oh my god. So
It's
what's
just-
so brutal about it?
Well, it's a boss rush first off. So you do the
Okay.
first one, you do a boss rush. It's all these easy bosses. Then you fight a new boss, and it's pretty good. Then you do the second one, and it's like the same thing, except the bosses are a bit harder. And it's like, okay, it's pretty good. You do the third one, more bosses. Yep, it's getting more difficult. And then you do the fourth one.
Yeah.
And the fourth one is hard bosses, but like I'd already fought them, and I was like, yeah, I can do these. And I got
But
to
you
the end
couldn't.
of it,
Okay.
and I got to
What's
the new boss, and
Oh my god.
it tore me limb from limb.
Oh my gosh. And is it one of those games where do you have to go back and redo all of them if you die?
Oh yeah.
What's the?
Oh,
what's
Oh no,
the
you don't do
length
all of them.
this?
You do that one again, but like you have to fight 10 bosses up to that point. To
Sorry,
refight
what was
it.
that, Pat?
Oh, I was just asking because under the misassumption that it was all of them again. Like, how long would it take to get back to where you were? Like, rough time of a boss.
I can do it I got it in 11 minutes in my final run where I beat it.
Okay.
And that was doing it quite fast though, because I learnt a lot of them really well. But then, so that was hard. The final boss of that was really tough, and I ended up having to like go into the mode where it has all the bosses, so you can just practice it.
Okay.
And so I beat it in there before I actually did it in the arena, and it took me like 5 more attempts to get it.
What do you unlock?
Another one.
And what will you unlock when you beat him?
Well, okay, when is a big assumption.
Yeah, that is meh.
You fight every single boss in the game.
All at once, and they're all layered on top of each
Yes.
other, and all the animations overflow.
They're all their ascended versions, which is these harder versions of them.
Okay.
And most of them aren't bad. There's like 5 or so that are troublesome.
I don't know why, but I just like the image of it being like you just walk into this room and they're all there and they've all got like bandages on them and like they're all bruised up and they're just like, all right, when he takes us up one by one, that's when he can get us. So if we just all gang up on him, we can fuck him up.
But you fight every single boss, and then
Oh gosh.
you get to the point where you get to the hard bosses. There's one boss that took me, I don't know, about 50 attempts, 60 attempts when I first fought it. You fight that, and I haven't got past it yet.
Okay.
It takes me about half an hour to get there,
Okay.
and
the ticker
it's just
might go up by next week.
And the worrying part is that I know after him, I'm gonna have to fight the boss that I already struggled on earlier, and after that, I know I've heard what the next boss is, and apparently it's hardest boss in the game, and I can't wait.
Is
I gotta ask.
is there story to this, or is it just boss rush? Not that that's like a bad thing.
Could you say that again?
Is there more story in this, or is it purely a boss rush?
Well, the good thing about Hollow Knight is yeah, there is new story.
Okay.
Instead of just having an extra mode called boss rush, you go into like this guy's dream, and you experience it that way.
He's dreaming about bosses.
Yeah.
It's the Super Mario Brothers 2 of Hollow Knight.
For some reason, I thought you were going to be like, it's a game which is all spooky and whatever, but then for this one, it's like, we need to raise some money. Like, a cake sale isn't going to do it. Why don't we have a boss fight? If you can fight all these bosses, we'll raise enough money to fix the church.
But yeah, it's all pretty good.
Hollow Knight
Like
needs stuffing.
the new bosses are really good, but it's a bit much. The final one, and you have to beat the final one to get a new ending.
Oh my god!
So I've got to do it.
And what's in the new ending?
I don't know.
Know?
I'm not
Oh my
spoiling
gosh.
it.
What if the new ending was that it was all a dream?
Oh, don't.
Or what if it's like Ghost and Goblins, where you beat it and then they were like, okay, but you forgot to do this one thing, so now do that all again.
I don't.
Is it actually any fun? I gotta ask.
I mean,
it sounds hard.
I mean, a lot of the new bosses are really fun. They're some of
Okay.
the best boss battles in the game.
That's
But
good.
when you're doing this, like this last one has just taken it to the extreme. The one before I could handle. But this one, it's a bit much. I'm not that happy with it.
Well, somebody had to be happy with it in order to sign it off and put it in the game. So.
Well,
No, well, I don't know.
anyway.
I don't
That's-
think game developers are happy.
No,
No,
I don't think
You should
gamers
know.
are happy.
no, gamers aren't happy. The gamers are the saddest people going.
I know I am.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes the alarm.
I
must
know,
have been
45
faulty.
minutes later than we expected.
Yeah,
but-
must be a faulty alarm today, but you know.
Yeah.
Now I'm even
okay,
sadder.
Well, back to work. Phew, right. What were we talking about? Sonic's dead? Locked in
Oh,
my basement?
he is?
Haha.
Hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
Walter White just choked him with the bike lock.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Patrick, hit us with a Sonic idea.
Could we
Okay.
combine Breaking Bad and Sonic together?
Well, blue
He
meth,
makes blue
blue
meth.
hedgehog, blue meth,
Yeah,
blue
Blue
blood.
Hedgehog, yeah.
Yeah.
Tails could be Jesse.
Yeah, no, can't argue with that.
I built a new tornado and I was really proud of it. Okay, and then what happened to it? Sold it for a bag of weed.
Better
Shadow
call
is
Knuckles.
Mike.
He's there shooting a light gun at the screen, and it's Rage, but it's not Rage. It'll be Virtual Cop because it's a Sega game.
You know what? That's even more fitting for Breaking Bad than Rage, anyway.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
That should have really been Jesse's get out plan. Is I'll train on Virtua Cop. Well, he's not
I'll
shooting cops, he's shooting criminals. But the point's that hey, no, that's even
I'll
better practice for him.
I'll train on House of the Dead. Who's the creepy lad though that drops him the Ben and Jerry's ice cream? What's Sonic the Hedgehog
Charmy B.
character? Yeah, that's Charmy B, is it?
See, I don't know Breaking Bad, but you said creepy, and I don't know. My mind just immediately went to Charmy B, and I don't
He
really
is
know why.
creepy.
No,
And he's got a
he's creepy.
voice. Yeah, and he's tiny as well.
Yeah,
And he's a bee.
And
I
he a
don't
bee.
like bees.
No, and he don't look like an anatomically correct bee. He looks like a breakfast cereal bee.
You know what's something? So there's something wrong with Charmy B, which is that Sonic has an edgy
Only one
version in
thing.
Shadow. Well, I mean, there's a lot, but just why has Charmy never had an edgy version that's a wasp or a hornet?
Oh,
Ooh.
Maybe there is.
And
There's years of comics.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, no, I'm sure one exists.
yeah, you're
I'm
probably
sure
like.
somebody has probably drawn one.
Instead
Can't-
of Charmy B, there's Harmy Wasp.
I can't believe this character doesn't exist when the Sonic. Oh no, never mind. They
There he
definitely
is.
do.
If there's an animal, there's a Sonic version of it. That's all I'm saying.
If you can picture it in your mind, there's a Sonic version.
And that's what the
If-
Sonic
even if
fan
it's an
wiki
inanimate
has pushed
object.
for.
Hmm.
Actually,
They
that's
do
the thing. I
inanimate-
could have just stolen all of my ideas from the Sonic fan wiki because they have written the last Sonic game in the canon, but I didn't steal
Ah.
it. I've got.
Is it a
restraint.
script?
It has a written down story and gameplay,
Christ.
and it's called Sonic Civil War.
Oh God.
Could we have a quick look at it? Would we be able to very quickly on the fly? We all take different jobs. Somebody narrates it, and then somebody will play Sonic, and somebody plays Shadow.
I don't think
Okay.
there's a script, but I will find the wiki page.
Okay, well you do that then. Ben.
Yes.
Sonic the Hedgehog. What's something about Sonic the Hedgehog?
He's very fast, and what if he wasn't fast and he was in a wheelchair?
Oh my god. What if he was in a wheelchair and Tails had to take care of him? And it's like whatever happened to baby Jane. and it drives him up the wall. Oh wow, this game actually has accredited people on it.
Why did they put Xbox One?
Well, because this game is coming out November 20th, 2018.
Oh shit!
This story takes place after the 25th anniversary game Sonic Adventure 3: The End of the World.
Yeah, that's the one where Sonic's at his funeral that we just talked about.
Oh,
It's really weird
really?
that Sonic's back, so, it's really weird that they did that.
Wait, they've got new characters. They got big. They brought him back. Cream and Eggman. Wow.
And, they're paying their dividends. They've done a real deep cut by having the Sonic Riders characters in there, like Jet the Hawk.
Oh
Storm
shit,
the
that was my
Albatross.
favourites.
Oh no, don't you just love Storm the Albatross? I can't even
Yeah.
remember what that one looks like.
He's a
fat
big,
and white.
yeah. He's the big grey one.
Sadly, in this game, you cannot play as President Morgan.
Oh fucking hell!
I mean, he
This is
wouldn't be
less-
president at that point, would he? But...
No.
Oh, Wave the Swallow, great.
I forgot it's a swallow. Oh well.
Wait, why, what?
I don't know why that's tickled me. Okay.
The non-playable characters. You got Jerome George Kennedy, President Morgan, and there's just like an extra spot. And it's just
Is he the president where it's like he looks wistfully out the window and he was like, I thought it would never come to this, and then he looks at a picture and it's Sonic and Shadow like posing. Is it that president?
I don't want to go too in-depth on this wiki, but I just want to offhandedly mention and then not contextualize that I posted a joke character on here and managed to slip it by that it was completely legitimate because irony is impossible on this website.
oh wait, was that the Sonic Forces video one?
Yeah, Gun the Wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That Gun the Wolf page is still there.
Oh, good. I'll link that in the.
I'm just
card.
thinking if Sonic had a gravesite and like he saw his own grave, would it be like A Christmas Carol where they're basically trying to get Sonic to change the error of his ways, although the errors of his ways have been in bad games, which in fairness he's not really responsible for.
Oh no. You work with the material you got.
No, exactly. If anything, it should be Yuji Naga, who's like,
I mean,
the Ghost of...
he's been out of the picture for years, but yeah, he still, needs to be on tribunal.
He's still Sonic's dad. If any... sorry, so he's the Ghost of Christmas Past. He's the one who shows Sonic, like, what things used to be like when Sonic used to be fat and had a human girlfriend called Madonna. And Robotnik was dressed up in pajamas and stuff like
And
that.
was Teddy Roosevelt.
And was also Teddy Roosevelt. And then Ghost of Christmas Present, that could be whoever the current Sonic lead is. Or it could...
I know who the
Christian
future
Whitehead.
guy is, that's all I can say. And that
Yeah, it's
is...
Christian... Yeah, it's just Christian... No, it's the regular Sonic guy, and then halfway through it's Christian Whitehead. Just turns up.
I think it should be the guy who runs the Sonic Twitter, who is the one
Oh,
of
Aaron
Christmas
Greenberg,
future.
whatever his name is. Yeah. Top meme.
Meme
He's
lad.
the top meme boy. And he's showing Sonic's present, which is like, hey, everybody really likes Sonic Mania. Oh, that's great. What about any of my other games? Yeah, they really like Sonic Mania Plus as well.
They really asked that we release Sonic the Hedgehog free on mobile, but that's old. And then he just looks at him with a glassy stare like, yeah, it is.
Maybe we could put Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on Steam, maybe, if people want that.
Nah.
And then the Ghost of Christmas Future, he takes them over to a television where it's Smash Ultimate. And then Sonic's like, alright, hold on a second, I need to get some detail, I need to get some like fight data, and he's like, no, don't look at that. No, I'm trying to show you, you're gonna die. And he's like, no, I need to see all the frame data, I need to see what the GameCube controller's like for the Switch. But he ain't having it.
Is Tails in this one?
Yeah, no, Tails would be Bob Cratchit, wouldn't he? He's the one that Sonic wants to work over Christmas.
And
And
Charlie
Tiny Tails would be his
Wait.
son.
Wait, there are two Tails.
Yeah, well, he has two tails, doesn't he? So,
Well, who could Tails
Ooh.
realistically give birth? No. Who could
well,
Tails
he has a Tailsy wife, I guess.
Well, no, he could marry.
He could marry Amy Rose because
nameless
Sonic
character.
never
I was
did.
gonna say it's very dangerous. You're discussing Sonic, don't pair him
Yeah,
with
I was
any
going to
character.
say, actually, we're on
You're
thin ice.
treading on thin
Yeah.
ice, and of course Sonic can't swim, so
There's
be
go-
aware of that.
Someone's already writing a fan fiction. Shit.
I can see the wolves at the door, but like John the Wolf and Joe the Wolf and
Gun the Wolf.
Gun the wolf. Yeah, I can see the gun and the wolves at the door.
Oh, we've made terrible mistakes here today.
We have made terrible mistakes, and at no point have we actually figured out a fitting ending for
No.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, well, I've got another one.
Okay.
And you see, going back to what we talked about earlier, not just the physical death of Sonic, but the idea of the death of Sonic as
I'd love that.
as a brand. You know, the death of the idea.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, in V for Vendetta, you know, I'm an idea and ideas are bulletproof, and then he gets shot to death. Well, it's basically that. But
Okay.
so Sonic now breaks the fourth wall, and in the old game there are television screens. So we have a game where it starts off as a 3D game, like, and it's the opposite of Sonic Generations in that it starts off with boost gameplay and all that, but every time you break a television screen, the world regresses a little, and Sonic points it out, and it gets weirder, and eventually it just becomes an 8-bit game. Every time you break a television screen, a contrivance of his reality breaks, until eventually he's just a hedgehog in a fat man's garden.
No.
Oh no.
And it just has what would...
I know
it
you
just
said
has
man, but for some reason I heard mayor.
He could be a mayor, you know, you never know. He's just...
Eggman looks like a fat mayor. I will say that.
And then the hedgehog's covered in blue paint that the old man has dropped on him.
Oh no, he's not blue. He just looks blue in certain lighting.
And it's just we do real footage. It's actually real life footage, so, you know, live action, recording a hedgehog, and the camera zooms out a bit on this hedgehog who's just scurrying about as a hedgehog does. He's covered in blue paint, or the lighting is blue, or what have
Well,
you.
you can control him.
No.
Oh.
This is the ending cutscene,
Okay.
and it kind of zooms out. It goes through the window, and there's just the fat man. He's in his bathrobe. He's getting ready for the day. He's got a cup of coffee, and he just takes a sip of his coffee and just looks out the window at that hedgehog, and he just then looks at the camera and winks, and then that's the end of the Sonic series.
Oh.
Bam! Cut to black. Linkin Park.
Crawling in my skin.
Now, how would the listeners feel if we just cut to black?
Crawling in the fat mayor's garden.
How would the listeners feel if we cut to black?
Yeah, just as you
I
said
don't think
that.
they'd feel
Cut to black,
anything.
Linkin Park. I actually do that. We bamboozle them.
Are we actually going to do that? Because I wasn't sure whether to say anything.
I don't. There might be problems if you start
Crawling in
using.
my spin dash. These rings, they will not heal.
There we go. There's the title of the podcast.
My spin. I don't think we can. I don't know if we have the rights to that
Rest in
song.
peace, Chester Bennington.
But I think that might be it, though. I think we found it. That is how we kill Sonic the Hedgehog.
Finally.
Yeah.
He's dead.
It's quite good. Yeah. Oh god, we've killed him.
my gosh.
I don't feel any regret. I feel we handled it nicely. It's like
It feels like a relief. It feels like a weight's been lifted.
we were basically veterinarians this episode.
Yeah. I feel like we've done a great service for the people, and hopefully there will be no backlash from what has happened, and hopefully we totally understood the email that the boss sent through to us. Actually, Ben, could you double check the email that the boss sent through to us?
I'll do it later. It'll be fine.
Okay.
We'll do it after we print the game.
Okay, great.
But yeah,
I can't
no.
read.
Oh. But anyway, yeah, it's quite good. I like this game.
Great. Good. Ben,
Yeah.
has this been the Game Overtime podcast?
No. Yeah.
Okay. Pat, would you like to say the special bit
Do you
of
know
Latin?
What?
The Latin.
Could you just say some Latin and we could pretend that's the thing that we say at the end of an episode?
Sure. Let me just look up some Latin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll translate it for you off the cuff.
Ergo ipso sum.
I am me.
And I am me as well. Goodbye, everybody.